that we have created. So this is our solution like we have created. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about some important concept. So in real time, like we used to load the data from source to dimensions and facts, right? So when we are loading the data into dimensions and facts, okay, so dimensions will contain unique data, okay, and even at the time of insertion, you have to take care of you have to take care of the load that no duplicate records will insert. Dimensions, okay, that means indirectly we are saying like dimension will not contain any kind of duplicate records. For example, I have some table like, let me open SSMS. Yeah, so in my database, assume, okay, I will take one table. Which table? Okay, so I will take any of the table. Okay, so employee table. Select start from employee. Sorry. So this is what the information I am having. Okay, so in my organization I have 290 employees. Okay, so 290 employees, I have inserted 290 records for each and every employee. Let us say for the next time load, okay, one that means like if you build SSIS package, that you will use the package for multiple times. Okay, so in real time what we do is we will execute this package in a particular period manner. That means every 2 days, okay, or else daily, or else for weekly ones, or else for monthly ones, like that we used to execute the package. That means based on a period, client will tell you like how frequent you have to run the package. Okay, run the package in the sense, let us say you have executed the package on June end, that means June 30th. Okay, so that means till whatever the data you are having till June 30 in the source system. Okay, so you got the data into your destination, but after June 30 some more data has been inserted in the source, so you need to pick that data as well into your destination. Okay, so to pull that data into your destination, what you have to do, you have to execute the package again. Okay, so at the time of execution you will give the period details from July 1st to July 4th, like that. So in that case it will pick the data from July 1st to July 4th. Okay, so when you pull the data from source to destination and you thought of inserting the data for that particular period, that means July 1st to July 4th, that means whatever the new records or else whatever the old records has been updated. okay, in the source system in between that particular period. Only those record you want to load again, okay. But when you are pulling the data, if we like in sometimes like whatever the data you already have, the same data will repeat again, okay. So in that case, at the time of insertion, you have to restrict the data. That means like whatever the data you already have, okay, you should not enter the data, or else you should not insert that particular record into your system, into your destination. For example, the employee is already existed, okay, but again if I mean from the source system, if you are getting that particular employee record, okay, so you should not enter that record. Why? Because the record is already existed in the destination. If you try to enter the same record again, that means duplicate records has been inserted into the destination table, which is not at all right. Okay, so that's why we have to restrict the data which is coming from the source at the time of insertion. So for that purpose, to restrict the data or else to check the data whether the record, whether that particular data is existed in the source system or not, before I mean existed in the destination system or not. Okay, before inserting, we have one transformation called lookup. Okay, lookup transformation. What we do is using lookup, let us say employee is my source table, and from this particular table you are loading the data into some employee 4th July table. Assume like this is what our table name. Okay, so before inserting the data from here to here, okay, we will check with this with the data whatever it is having. So whether we are having that particular record in this table or not. So if that is not having, if the destination is not having that particular record, then we will go for insertion. If the record is existed, simply we will ignore that. How to do that? So we can achieve that using a lookup transformation. One second. Lookup transformation, let us see how it will work. So this is the source table I am having. What I will do is I will create a package here, new SSRS package. So I am giving the proper name for my package. So I'm going to load the data. So that's why I'm taking one data flow task, select the data flow task, place it over here. Okay, so I'll give a proper name to this. Load employee using lookup. Open that, opening in the sense like double click on that. Pick one source component and one destination component. So I will pick the source component OLDB source. After that I will pick one destination component. Once after that, here I have to configure the source. Configuration in the sense, give the source connection detail, give the destination connection detail. So when I try to pick the source connection, since it doesn't have any connections in my package, it is showing empty list. It doesn't have any connections, right, in the connection manager tab. So that's why it is showing empty. So now, but here I have to specify the connection. So I can do one thing like go to new here, there from the list like you can pick the connection. Okay, here it is showing the list of connections which has been already created in this particular SSIS, or else If it is altogether new, then go to new connection and then create the connection. Since I have already created the connection and I feel like this is what my source, I am taking that and I will pick the table name from here. What is my table name? Human resource employee. Once you select the employee, check for the columns. Okay, so I will pick all the columns. Click on OK. So once this is done, I will rename this source employee. From source to destination, I have given the connection and I will load the data into another connection. So this is what my database, the destination. So I want to pick that. So that's why I'm taking that. And as of now I don't have table. I will create one table for you from here itself. Instead of OLEDB destination, I will give the name like employee July 4th. Save this, click on OK, go to mappings. So all the columns has been mapped. Why? Because these are having the same names from source to destination. That's why they got automatically mapped. Once that is done, just save the package and execute it. Two 90 rows has been loaded. Go back and check your destination table. It is in training database. So let's start from so employee July 4, I got 290 rows. Okay, so now what I am trying to do is I want to check with the destination system every time. Okay, so in between, instead of loading straight from here to here, I will remove this condition. I will remove that loading join, and what I will give is I will take one transformation called lookup transformation, which is available over here. Lookup transformation. Just take that lookup transformation, drag to your workspace. From source to lookup, give the connection. Okay, open the lookup. Instead of that, forget about catch mode for now and connection type for now. Look at this particular option. Specify how to handle rows with no matching entries. That means no matching entries means whatever the row is not there in destination. Okay, it is there in source but it is not in destination. That means it's a no matching entry. From source to destination it is not matching. So which is called as a no matching entries. So how to handle, how you want to handle that particular row. I want to handle that particular row into no match output. Okay, so let us see how it will work. Redirect rows to no match output. Select this particular option. Remember this, redirect rows to no match output. Okay, after that go to connection. Here specify your destination connection. That means where your destination table has been loaded. This is the connection. Click on OK. You can specify with which table you want to check the data. Every time I want to check the data with this particular table only, which is nothing but the destination table. Okay, so pick that particular table. Employee 4th July. Here we have another option, use result of an SQL query. In real time, maximum of the cases, 99% of the cases, you will go for this. Why? Because if you go for the table, that means if you specify the table like this, what the system will do? System will pick all the columns from the lookup table. That means from this table. So which will occupy a more amount of temporary memory. Okay, and which may cause to what we call some, I mean like package execution will, I mean like will go for somewhat slower than the normal time. So to avoid all those things, what we can do is we will go for the result of an SQL query. That means we will write an SQL query. That means like select from that particular table. So every time with which record, with which column I want to check. I don't want to check for the all the columns. In the employee table, I will check for the employee ID. If the employee ID is already existed, then don't insert. Likewise, I want to check. Okay. So let us see here what is the identity column, or else what is the primary key column in this table. Employee. So business entity ID, they make this one as a primary key. So let me close this. Okay, so business entity ID. So that means it is indirectly giving us the employee ID. Assume like this is what the employee ID. Okay, so instead of comparing all the records, okay, so we will go for the employee ID. Why? Because I mean like two employees may have the same name. Okay, two employees may have the same job title. Okay, so that means those are not unique. So what is the most unique here? Employee ID will be the unique. Why? Because two employees won't have same number, same employee ID. So that's why I'm taking the unique column like business entity ID. If the business entity ID is already existed in my database, which is indirectly telling that employee is existed. So in that case, I will just ignore that. If the employee ID is not existed, then I will take that row and I will insert. That means I will take that non-matching row and I will insert into my destination. So for that purpose, I am going to check with this particular employee ID. So select query, place here. Okay. Go to columns now. Go to columns. Here you need to map with the source columns. Okay. These are all the available columns. That means these are all the columns coming from source. Okay, and we have the only one column in the lookup in the sense in this particular selection. Okay, so I want to check with this particular column with the business entity ID. Okay, so give the map from here to here. That means you are indirectly saying like check with the source business ID to the destination business ID. If the business ID both are matching, then what we will do, let us see. So here you will get two cases. One is matching the, I mean you will get the matched records. The second thing is you will get the non-matched records. So which output you are going to handle? So I want to handle non-matching records. For now I will forget about the matching records. I will just ignore the matching records. I will take only non-matching records. Then how to take the non-matching records? Select this arrow and place on the destination. You will get input output selection window from lookup. So here it will ask you which output you want to pick. I want to pick non-matching output. Okay, so non-matching output. Click on OK. So go to the OLEDB destination and this is what my table, right? Destination table, employee 4th July. Go to mappings and columns has been mapped successfully. Click on OK. Just save this. Execute the package. Do you have any new row in the source? As of now, no rows, right? No new rows. Let us see how it will react. See, from source to lookup, it is reading 290 rows, but it is not returning any row. Why? Because all the rows are matching, but you are handling no match output. Since there is no new row, that's why it is not returning any new match. Okay, so what I will do now is I will insert a new row in the source. Okay, so insert into human resource employees values. First one is business entity ID, right? So I will pick, I will try to enter only for some columns. Business entity ID, national ID number, login ID, job title. Let us insert only for these columns instead of inserting the values for all the records. Okay, 4 nines for business entity and national identification number. I will give some random number 97 like this. Login ID, since this is a varchar, I am giving as organization node. I will take the existing one. So not, we are not taking organization node, right? The nationality number, login ID also I haven't taken. Only job title, right? Job title, some principal engineer. Let us see how it will, whether it is inserted or not. So login ID also we have to take. It is throwing there cannot insert value null into column login ID. So that means at the time for this particular table they have created, it should not be null. So that's why it is throwing the error. Login ID also we have to insert any case. So I will take login ID. At the time of table creation, if they specify any constraint like that, it will throw the error. If we are not inserting, or else if we are not taking care of, see, birth date also we have to insert. Birth date, 1996 0919. Marital status, gender, hire date, see, one row we have inserted. That means in source we are having 291 rows. Okay, so in our destination how many rows we are having? We are having 290 rows. So whatever the new row we have inserted, only that particular row it should insert now. Okay, why? Because we are in the lookup, what we are taking redirect rows to no match output. So once we check with the business entity ID, okay, it will check with the business entity ID since it is a new record. So and from lookup we are taking what is that lookup no match output. So you are taking the no match output into the OLEDB destination, and in the destination you are trying to inserting the record. So now it will have to insert, should have to insert only one record. See, 291 rows it is reading and only one record it is inserting. That means it's not doing anything with the matching records. Okay, but in some cases, let us say in my destination table 290 records already existed. Okay, but in source system what happened is out of 290 records, out of 290 employees, 3 people or else 2 people has been resigned. Okay, so the resign date, by default the resign date will be null for all the employees. Why? Because they are already existed employees. So in the destination table that is empty. Assume like that is empty. But in the source system 3 people, that means in this particular period, in these 3 days 3 people has been resigned. So in the destination system you should update that particular what we call resign date in the destination records as well. You should update that particular date. Okay, so in that case you need to take non-matching, I mean matching records also. Okay, so that means you need to take the matching records and then update the value, whatever the value has been modified, so that value you have to update. So in that case what we will do is start this. Here you are having one command called OLEDB command, one transformation called OLEDB command. Take that OLEDB command, place to your workspace. Okay, so here you are catching no matching entries, right? So obviously what will be the output remaining? Matching entries. Take that matching entries output into the OLEDB command. Okay, open that, give the connection manager. Now I want to update the records in this particular destination table. This is whatever the connection it is having, you have to specify the connection. This is what my connection. Okay, go to the component properties, come down, at last you have SQL command option. Here you need to write your update. Okay, I want to update all the columns belongs to that particular entity ID, that particular business ID. So in that case, generally how you are going to write that update? Update this particular table, set national ID number. Instead, like I will pick the update right. Script the table as update to clipboard. I will get the update statement. Yes, this is what the update statement. So remove this business entity ID. We are not required this. Here nationality number equal to okay. So I'm going to update all the fields based on which thing, based on employee ID. If the employee ID is matching, then what we will do is we will get the source record, we will get the record from source and we will update based on that employee ID. For a particular employee, we will update I mean the required fields. Okay, so what is that? Entity ID. business entity ID. Business entity ID. Okay, so if you have one or two employees, okay, in real time, like if you know the employee ID, then you can straight away you can give the employee ID over here. But if you don't know for which employees, since I'm having thousands of employees, okay, lakhs of employees in my system, or else in my what we call in my company, okay, daily many members will join or else daily many members will resign, okay, to update a record which is belongs to a particular employee is pretty much difficult for me, right? So in that case I will get the employee IDs, I mean from the system itself, and at the time of execution it will automatically update. So for that purpose I will give, I have to pass variables, parameters. So I'm giving question marks over here. Let us see how it will work. These question marks will take values dynamically at the time of executing our SSIS package. Okay, we are not hard coding the values. Hard coding in the sense specifying the value directly. Employee ID is equal to so and so, something like that. Why? Because we don't know which employee ID, for which employee ID the record has been updated, or else which employee the record has been inserted. We don't know. So for that purpose, we are specifying the question marks. Question mark in the sense parameter. So we are going to handle these parameters in SSIS. Just copy this update statement, place this in your command and click on OK. Okay, now you have to pass the values for these question marks, otherwise it will be meaningless. So for that purpose what we will do is we will go for column mappings. Okay, column mappings. You have specified question mark like this, right? So the system will treat these are the parameters. So first one is param 0. Okay, now second one is param 1. So like that the system will treat in the same order, param 2, something like that. So likewise the system will treat in this manner. First one is the parameter 0, second one is the parameter 1. So likewise it will come till over here. Okay, so in the similar manner we have to map them. So for parameter 0, what, for which column you want to populate the data? National ID number. So national ID is coming from national ID number, so map that. Similarly, parameter 1 you have to pick login ID. So login ID you have to pick login ID. Parameter 3, parameter 2, organization node. Pick the organization node and map that organization node. Organization level. Third one is organization level. Fourth one, job title, birth date, marital status. Job title, birth date, marital status. Gender, hired date, salaried flag. Gender, hired date, salaried flag. Vacation hours, sick leave hours, current flag. Vacation hours, sick leave hours, current flag. Row ID, modified ID. Row ID, modified ID. And finally business entity ID. Click on OK. Okay, just save this. And as of now we haven't updated any record in the source system, right? So let us update something in the source system. So update set, what we will update here, I will update job title for a employee, job title equal to principal engineer. For which employee I am going to update? Where business entity ID equal to 1. Okay, so that means for the employee 1, it will update, the job title will update like as principal engineer. Okay, so job title has been updated as principal engineer in source system. What we have in your destination as of now? Let us see. In our destination as of now, it is some chief executive officer. Okay, for employee ID it is chief executive officer. If we execute SSIS package, it should update the record. Okay, so 291 rows we are getting, and from lookup we are capturing no matching output and matching output. Since there is no new entry, no row has been going to here, and no 290 rows are already existed, so that's why all the rows are going to OLEDB command. So let us see our row is updated or not. See, the employee ID 1 job title has been changed, principal engineer. So that means employee is existed, but the nature of the employee has been changed. It might be job title. Okay, if he's there in the job still, and in some cases like there might be a chance of I mean changing the job title. Okay, he may get promotions like that. So marital status, if it is single, like so after some time, after some years of time, like he will get some married. Okay, like that, or else vacation hours, or else sick leave hours. Okay, something like that. A modified date. Okay, so likewise the data will be modified. So in that case you will go for the update. So how to update means, you will write and you will take that OLEDB transformation. So instead of that, what we will do is, you will specify the connection where your destination table is existed. Once you specify the connection, you have to specify what is your intention. You are trying to update the record. So open that. So instead of that, you have to specify the update statement. So how you have to write the update statement means, on which column you are going to update the record. This is what the column that I am basing. So what is that column? Employee ID. So wherever the employee ID is matching, then update all the fields likewise. So but here we are giving the question marks to pick the values like as parameters. Okay, so whatever the order you have given in the update statement, okay, whatever the column order you are having, the similar order you have to map the parameters. Okay, in the same order you have to map the parameters. Otherwise the system will populate some error data. Okay, so if you change that parameter order, then what will happen? So login ID details will goes to organization node, and some organization node details will goes to some login ID, something like that. That means data will be mapped errorly, right? So which is the wrong thing. So to avoid that thing, what we have to remember is, whatever the order you are following here in the update statement, the similar order you have to map the columns. In the same order you have to pass the parameters. Param 0 to param 15, you have to map the columns in the same order. Okay. So in this lookup transformation, you have to keep, at the time of updating, you have to keep one thing right. That is what this one, right? How to map the columns. Okay, if you miss the order, then you will get some error data. The second thing is, in the lookup, you are taking here, what you are taking, redirect rows to no match output. Okay, so that means what is happening? The lookup is taking the rows. That means it is redirecting the rows to no match output. Whatever it is taking, it is just redirecting rows to no match output. And matching output, it is not bothering. So if you take other option like fail the component. Okay, so if it is find any new row in the source, then what will happen? I am telling the system like fail the component. Fail the component in the sense fail the package. So I will try to insert one new row in the source again. So which is employee ID like 101010. Okay, assume like this is what the new row in the source. Double human resource employee ID. Okay, so temp 1. National ID. Just remove the foreign key constraint, the person. So whatever the record we are having in the person, 998, let us see. So one row has been inserted. Now we are having 292 rows. Okay. So in my source system, 291 rows. Okay. So if I execute the package, what it should do, as per the option that I have taken over here, it should fail the component. Click on OK and execute the package. See, the source system, from source system 290 rows, 292 rows are coming to lookup. So it found one new row. So that's why the component has been failed. So when this case will apply means failing the component. Let us say you are pretty much confident on the source system that you won't get any kind of new row up to 5 years or else up to 10 years. So, but in some cases there might be a chance of getting some neurons as a junk data, which is not at all, you should not enter into your destination table. And whenever you found any neuro, in that case, instead of inserting the record or else instead of doing some kind of operations on top of that, you just ignore, I mean stop the package execution, okay, and to take care of some kind of action on that. So for that purpose you will keep this option like fail the component, and what you will do is you will tell the customer like you are getting some junk data from this particular table. Today we have observed that we are getting some junk data or else you are getting some new records from the source table, please take care of that. You will give a mail like that to the client. So that is what the purpose. Stop this, and so like whatever the third option that you are having, ignore failure. Ignore failure means like as the similar case, you will get some junk data, but you don't bother about the junk data, but you don't want to insert or something like that. Whatever the insertion or else happening, whatever the update is happening, okay, you just ignore the failure. Okay, instead of having the failure, you want to just ignore that, you can just ignore that. Okay, so it is not taking that particular record into the no match output, hence it is going to the, it is it's moving to the OLEDB command as an update record. Okay, it's not failing. Stop that. Redirect rows to errored output. Errored output in the sense like here, apart from these two options, you are getting one more error. It's nothing but the error. Okay, so whatever the new row I found, what I will do is I will just redirect it to some other destination or else some other flat file. What I will do is whenever I found any new row, I will capture it into some notepad and I will give it to the customer. These are the new rows that we are getting, or else these are the junk data that we are getting. Okay, to notify the customer. So in that case what I will do is I will just redirect the rows into a flat file. To redirect the rows to flat file, what I will do is I will take the flat file destination, select that, drag to your workspace, give the error mark to the flat file. Once you place the error mark over there, it is opening the configure error output. How you are going to handle? I want to, when I found that, I just want to redirect the rows to here. So select the option redirect rows, apply, click on OK. Once after that, still it is throwing the error mark. I have taken the flat file destination, but I didn't specify into which flat file you want to populate the data. So that thing you have to specify here. Open the flat file connection. I don't have any flat file connection managers over here. Okay, but here it is asking for flat file connection manager. As I don't have anything, I will go for the new. Click on new. Just click on OK. It will open one flat file connection manager window to create the connection. So this is what the flat file connection manager. I will give a proper name, flat file error. Okay, so what is the file that you want to handle? Into which file you want to handle? Browse. Uh, this is what our solution, right? So here I will create a file, error employee notepad. Okay, so I will take this notepad, click on open, go to columns, just click on OK. That's it. Okay, give the mappings from the source. That's it. Click on OK. Just save that one. See, it is taking 292 rows and it feels like one is the new row, so that's why it is populating the rows to error output. Instead of no matching output, it is populating to error output. Why? Because we are handling the new rows into error output. Instead of getting them into no match output, we are just populating into error output. Okay, so likewise you can capture the records. Error employee, you got this particular record. This is what the record that we are trying to enter, right? So now we can throw this record to the customer. These are the new records that we are getting. Once you confirm, we will load the data, something like that. Okay, so in real time, like it's not mandatory to have all these three things. Why? Because if you are getting no match entries, either we will insert the record or else we will go for the error output. Okay, so in that case either this one or this one we will have, but not both of these. Okay, so update command, when we go for update means like if you feel like apart from the business entity ID, apart from the employee ID, if you feel like other fields may update, so in that case you will go for the OLEDB command to update the records. If you feel like no record or else no field will update on any records. So in that case, you are not required to have this particular update. But whatever the operation that you have to use in this particular lookup transformation or else at the time of loading the data into a particular destination table, that and all from client you will get to know, or else your next level of people, architect or else here the manager is handling the project, they will tell you like how to handle the rows and all. Okay, so based on that you can keep whatever the component you want to have in the package, you can keep the component. So rest all you can just you are not required to configure. Okay, so if I execute this package next time, what it will do, it will just goes to, see, it's identifying the row and it is inserting the row. Okay, so likewise if I keep no match output, it will insert the record to your destination. Happen, done. So likewise the lookup will handle the rows. Okay, so generally the lookup, we will use the lookup to handle the matching and no matching entries. So it is 99% we use in dimension tables, and in not only in dimension tables loading, in some other tables loading also we will load, but as per the requirement we will follow. Okay, so where we go for lookup and all that and all, no need to worry, like manager or else next level people, they will tell you like how to handle the rows. Okay, so as per the instructions, like we will follow the transformation. What is the right transformation that we use to do any of the operations? Okay, so just have a look on this particular lookup transformation. Why? Because in real time, this is the